Eating disorder envy. Let's have a chit chat. They have a saying in addiction recovery: new playgrounds, new playmates. When you're trying to recover from something, or you have recovered from something, surrounding yourself with the people that still do what you used to do that you're trying not to do, and still find themselves in environments that trigger doing the things that you don't want to do, is a trigger for you to find yourself right back where you started doing what you need to do. Quitting something that has become such a big part of you and does itself become an addictive process in our brain to soothe ourselves. Your brain literally becomes addicted to coping through an eating disorder and the behaviors associated with it. Exercise, overeating, undereating, purging, the list goes on and on. If you've ever been in treatment, or depending on just your circumstance, but especially if you've been in treatment, you may have made a few friends. You may still associate with them on Facebook or even in person. Not everybody has to follow the same track for treatment and recovery. I'm not saying you have to ditch all your friends, but do be aware that it puts you at a particular danger of relapse when you surround yourself with familiar playmates and playgrounds. Because in addiction recovery, when someone relapses, the overall tone of the group is sympathy, mourning, sadness for the individual. If you have a weight loss related eating disorder, even the visual component of watching someone else's weight drop back down can trigger in you envy. Well, if they can do it, why can't I? It can trigger you to give up the fight. It can trigger jealousy. Even a binge eating disorder, if you surround yourself in people who are indulging in that behavior, you crave the emotional release. It's like an alcoholic hanging out with drinkers. When you see what you used to have and you want that back, you want that release, you've been very disciplined, you've been doing all this growth to try and accept yourself and try to find new ways to cope and heal, and then you see that old trigger being pushed, that button in your brain, you get cravings for what you no longer have. And just like a breakup, it could have been the most horrible person in the world for you to be with. They could have been a terrible human being. When you get distance on that, or if someone passes away, all you remember are the fond things. We blank out all the drawbacks, all the negatives. The farther and farther you get away from your disorder, the more healed you become, the more blinders you put up for all of the drawbacks, all of the horrendous, horrific feelings, all of the self-hatred, all of the shame, all of the physical pain, all of the time it consumed, all of your life it consumed, all of the drawbacks, all of the negatives start to blank out, and all you have is this fanciful, glamorous image in your brain. And the addictive part of you that's craving that. So when you see other people indulging and covered, you may find yourself envious. You may find yourself wanting to go back, wanting to go backward. So different playgrounds, different playmates. To the best of your ability, disassociate yourself with anyone and everyone who is actively engaging in disordered behavior. If you can't and if you don't, try your damnedest to use them as a negative role model. This isn't being cruel. This is survival. Just as the addicts mourn when someone relapses, you mourn them